Out here trying to date in 2026, your ass is fried. You might as well. Everybody already got who they want. Everybody already got somebody. So if you out here steady trying to look for a motherfucker, you might well go and stay to yourself, man. Everybody already got them a favorite ex. They gonna keep running back to the situationship or something. Everybody already got somebody. So I done gave up all hope on dating and shit. So when y'all see me out here playing an ass, I don't want nobody saying nothing to me. Okay? Cause that's all that's left to do, just playing ass and going by my business, motherfucker. I'm out here for life, nigga. Playing ass for life, nigga. Fuck that. Fuck love, nigga. We playing.
One of the biggest reasons that I feel people aren't dating anymore is because they don't know how to be central with themselves. They don't know how to love themselves. They don't know how to appreciate themselves. They are in positions quite literally where they probably hate themselves. And this is why it's important to be intentional and central with yourself.
Nowadays, these overgrown ass niggas be wanting you to sit up and chase them like they the bitch. Lil' mama, you might as well go ahead on, cause I ain't doing all that.
I make this video every few years. I made a video like this a couple years ago when I lived in Denver, and I was just starting my other channel, which I will link below if you would like to go see that channel. However, this is why people aren't dating anymore. All right. So I want to start this off by saying this is my personal biased opinion. You do not have to like it. You can dislike it all you want to. It's not going to change my mind. Yeah, this is how I feel. So we're in 2026, right? And the marriage rates are terrible. We're still in the part where 50% of marriages end in the first few years that you get married, and it's usually over things like money, children, um, not paying each other attention or respect or time. Uh, Relationships are pretty fucked these days. And I say that in a very nice possible way that I could say that most people aren't dating because they don't feel like it is worth doing anymore.
I've only been single for 3 months, and one thing I've noticed that a lot of people was also talking about when I was in a relationship that I would just see online is that the fucking dating pool is ass. I'm not even necessarily trying to date anyone. Have noticed this. Y'all are all controlling, unhealed as fuck. Nobody's actually trying to work on themselves. So when you're out here talking to someone, if you don't text them back in 2 seconds, they're trauma dumping on you and they're ready to cuss you out and cut you off and whatnot. And I just don't have time for that. I don't even understand how you guys are able to do it. I don't know how the fuck y'all get out of a relationship and instantly monkey branch onto the next person and trauma dump on them and take all the baggage that you had from your last relationship into your new one. No one is taking time to actually become a better man or woman. Y'all just out here trying to fuck and create new trauma bonds with new people instead of working on yourself and realizing, hey, oh, I did this wrong in my last relationship. Maybe I should fix this. Or maybe if I fix this, I can get the person who really love me back. Y'all are weird.
Now, as you can see, I'm a woman. I can only speak from mostly perspective of women. I have heard other men talk about this, but I can't resonate with 100% how they feel all the time. I know there are some things we do agree on. If you just change the subject from she to he or he to she, most people can agree on the same things, how they feel about dating, but for the most part, it all depends. So, it is 2026. I have been single for, embarrassingly, not embarrassingly, but it's been a while. It's been a while, and don't get me wrong, I have dated, I have been dating, but I'm to a point where I don't want to do that anymore unless I get to a point in my life where I feel it's worth it and I'm going to be led to a person that actually fits my standards and what I want. Then yeah, we'll get there. But right now, the dating sphere is full of people who just want to Netflix and chill. People who want to get inebriated or some type of form of not sober and do things with other people that they probably won't remember. I am not engaging in that. It's so detrimental to who I am and what I stand for as the central dominatrix. I'm not unnecessarily putting myself through stress just because I want to be around a person. I'm not going to be the breadwinner and always pay for everything just because I want to be around you. Now, don't get me wrong, I trick off who I want to trick off on. However, that comes with the sacrifice of another person doing something for me that they don't necessarily feel like they could do for themselves.
Nowadays, these overgrown ass niggas be wanting you to sit up and chase them like they the bitch. Little mama, you might as well go ahead on because I ain't doing all that.
Dating right now is a whole bunch of, hey, good morning, what you doing? Oh, yeah, how'd you sleep? And that's it. There's not a lot of proactive initiation. There's not a lot of, oh, hey, I want to see you. We could go do this. Have you ever done this before? What was the last time you done this? I want to do it with you. I want you to enjoy yourself. I want you to be around me and actually feel like I'm worth being around and your time is not being wasted. There's not a lot of that. It's not a lot of that. And I hate it. I hate it for us.
I bet you got all the dudes in your inbox. No, I'm saying we ain't divorced yet, but we sleep on the 2 different couples. I know we just started talking, but can you send me $20 real quick? I'll pay you back. You finna get in the shower without me? I mean, we really ain't gotta go out. You just come over here and chill. Nah, but for real, like, when you gonna come cook for me?
Now, don't get me wrong, I do have a few friends who are happily married right now. They're on their first, second, third child. They're doing great in their relationships. I'm not gonna invalidate their experience with mine. All I'm saying is that dating right now is piss in the dating pool, if you've ever heard anybody say something like that. There majority of people who call themselves dating or want to be in a relationship are just being friends with benefits and not even being good friends with the benefits. They just come attached with their genitalia and they think that that's it. I'm talking about men and women. They come attached with something and then they're like, yeah, this should be satisfying. This should be enough for you. It doesn't even have to be the genitalia. It could be the fact that they are quiet when you talk or you vent, so you feel like there's a safe space for you. Or, they financially could take care of certain things that you can't handle at the moment. So the trade-off is that you do whatever they want and you don't necessarily think twice about it because they helped you in a time of need. Or unfortunately, a lot of people are falling into still the baby mama, baby daddy culture where they're barely dating somebody, but they're having intercourse, they get pregnant, then they have to have this child, whether it's because they don't believe in abortions or not, or whatever, adoption, whatever. They have this child and they think that the child is going to change the relationship, and it does not change the relationship at all. Um, a lot of the time, children makes the relationship worse or breaks the relationship because that's is a human being that you have to be responsible for. It's just not just some toy that you don't have to look at anymore once you put it in a corner. So yeah, a lot of people are falling into that. And then when you try to date somebody who has a baby daddy or a baby mama, you're mostly subject to a third party being in your relationship, whether that's the child or the ex-spouse. You have to deal with another person being in your energy and their energy at all times, and that is stressful. Okay, it's stressful. It doesn't matter how old the child is or the perceived other parent is. It's stressful. People turn into stalkers, all types of stuff, just because they don't want their ex to move on. So that's another reason why people aren't dating. Now, some things I've heard from other people about why they aren't dating is that some people are honest and they say they don't have the money to date. It does take money to date. You want to court somebody the right way, you pay for the food, you take them out. I'm talking about in a male perspective. You take them out, you have to spend extra time that you might not have with them, and then once the relationship gets on a very more serious level, then there's other sacrifices that you have to make that they don't feel like they're prepared for. Because women's standards are very high these days. They want you to be very financially stable. They want you to have a career. They want you to be educated. They want you to have a great family structure. And a lot of the time that just does not exist. It just doesn't exist. I grew up in a family where we weren't really that close, so I don't have a strong, stable family structure that I can bring anybody into and be like, yeah, if you ever feel alone or blah blah blah, you just come to my family. I'm never gonna say that to somebody. So that's just my opinion on my family. You don't have to feel the same about yours. Another reason, too many people that have children, and it's not just having one child, it's having multiple children that you may or may not even take care of. Like, hey, there's a lot of deadbeat parents out here, and a lot of people try to escape the responsibility of parenting by dating and moving in with people they barely know and hopping from one person to another to another to another and never giving yourself time to breathe, never giving yourself the opportunity to give your children time to know you, to be taken care of by you, and to grow into another type of human being that is not going to do the same things that you've done. It's another thing. Whew, really getting into it, huh? So one of the biggest things is that a lot of people aren't intellectually there. They stop with school. They don't try getting a higher education. They don't try getting a trade. They really don't move up in their job. Like, there's a lot of people who are stunted in their growth that just do not make great partners. And when you're stunted in your growth, a lot of the times your mental health is not there 100%. So you're treating people how you would want to, or how you already treat yourself. And that comes from a very low vibrational way of thinking. Like, you're not expanding yourself to be open to newer things. You're just being constricted and doing the same things over and over and over and over and over again. And that is not conducive to a healthy relationship, nor is it conducive to being a healthy parent or having a healthy marriage. So that's another reason. Whew. Uh, some of the other reasons that I have listed have to do with just not being good people in general. Like, I don't know if it's a fad these days. Is it a trend where everybody feels like they can be the worst person that another person has ever experienced in their life? I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's grief that people are not speaking about. I don't know if it's revenge that people would like to get. I don't know, because there are a lot of people out here that are spreading STDs and diseases that you can't get rid of out of spite. It's another thing. Sex is one of the biggest things that breaks a relationship because people either rush into it or they feel pressured into it. And that you will never be able to get anywhere with anybody if you feel rushed into doing something like that. That's another way that you end up being a baby mama or a baby daddy too early, because you don't know how to have sexual discipline. Oh man, and there's so much that goes into parenthood. I don't even want to explain or expand on in this video because that would be a whole nother video. Kind of touched on it with the last Sukiana and Bobby podcast reaction. Um, so if you want to expand on that a little bit, you could go watch that video. I'll try to tag it. Anyway, there's just a lot of things that don't usually correlate with each other, why a lot of people would step back. Because after being hurt or going through the same thing many, many, many times, especially in a row, if you don't know, some serial monogamous is the term, where you just hop from relationship to relationship to relationship. You don't give yourself a break. You're in an exclusive relationship, so you have to focus on another person, learn that person, do for that person, work around that person. There's so much that you don't get to learn about yourself in those years. So a lot of the time when a serial monogamous gets hurt, or even just being in a lot of situationships, when that person gets hurt, they do not want to continue that journey anymore. It's not something, a relationship is not something that's seen as necessary once you've been hurt so many times. And then another thing, a lot of people who focus on themselves and they are educated and they're constantly striving to reach other goals or get other places, they also have dropped importance about relationships lately, because instead of spending your 20s or your 30s being so stressed out about another person, they're just spending it being stressed out about themselves, if that has to make sense. going back to school, getting a trade, working in a career, having many degrees, doing many things. And even if they do have children, focusing on their children more than they're focusing on wanting to be in a relationship has put a lot of people into not wanting to be in relationships in general.
A lot of men know you're out of their league when they approach you. But the thing is, a lot of y'all be biting. So when y'all be biting to the little lame lines that they give you or whatever pickup line they gave you at the time and you be eating it up, they be like, all right, I'm gonna just see how far this can go. He know he on unemployment, he live in his mother basement, and he makes $500 every 2 weeks. But you're a RN, you're a traveling RN with 3 degrees, and you're over here and you're texting him back and you're giving him the attention he wants and needs. Of course he's not gonna leave you alone, babe. Why would you? You're the baddest he pulled out of his friend group. He texted his friends the minute he got your number and said she had on scrubs and she told me she has 3 degrees and she went to Columbia. He's not never going to leave you alone. And the problem is, y'all get with these men and y'all be like, but he's a nice person. He has such a good personality. And even though he can't provide for himself, and he never provided for himself, and he's 55 and he still lives in his mom's basement, he sends me lunch every Tuesday. Men know that that's the bare minimum, and they know all they have to do is be like, whatever you need, baby. You want me to come home and cook? My girl traveling nurse. I'm going to have the house ready for her because she's a traveling nurse and she got 3 degrees. Y'all be sitting there and y'all let them. And the thing is, men know that you're supposed to be the one to be like, you know what? Nah, you're not good enough for me. But when y'all don't, they be like, I'm going to ride this wave for as long as I can. They know this. You don't. Stop dating for potential when the potential would not date you.
I don't know if this is going to change. We don't know if things are going to get better or for worse. There is something going on right now called the 4B movement that's been going on for some years, at least 5, at least, because it started a little bit before COVID. This also started in Asian countries where women just protested being in relationships or being with men or having their children.
You want to know the number one problem with dating in 2026 is the Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing. But there are so many men out here expecting you to find them. They're the prize. What do you bring to the table? Pick me, earn me, choose me, men in 2026. And they expect you to bring energy and effort because I need you to show me why you are qualified. And this is what's wrong with dating today. Men are not providing clarity, leadership when it comes to dating. And then here's the thing. A lot of ladies are choosing to settle. Sometimes you settle when it comes to just dating, because here's the thing. You settle for being an initiator, to text him firster, to ask him out on the date. Where are we? The clarity seeker. No. If a man ain't bringing clarity, decision-making, assertiveness, and effort to the first dates, that ain't the man for you. If that man is expecting you to locate him and chase him, that ain't the man for you. You need to tell him, I got high heels on, not track shoes. You understand me? I'm not trying to be chasing no man. Any man that requires you to pursue him, to chase him, is not the man God is sending you. Remember, he who finds a wife finds a good thing, not the other way around.
So the birth rate has declined in a lot of countries due to women around the world really not wanting to be in what you would call a slave dynamic, being in a relationship with a man. Because a lot of the time, marrying for love is only 3% of marriages. The rest of them are power moves. The rest of them are ways to ensure survival. They're not necessarily out of love. Marrying for love is one of the newest things. I learned that in anthropology. It's still very recent. It's still very new. We're not, as a population, kind of tuned into doing that just yet. But once we get to that point, maybe some things will change. Maybe we're in the midst of everything changing, so things can be better and we can marry for love again. Who knows? But right now, dating in 2026, in my opinion, it's dead. One of the biggest reasons that I feel people aren't dating anymore is because they don't know how to be sensual with themselves. They don't know how to love themselves. They don't know how to appreciate themselves. They are in positions quite literally where they probably hate themselves. And this is why it's important to be intentional and sensual with yourself. When you're sensual, you're enjoying your everyday. You'll enjoy everything that you do every day because you know it's your choice. You know it's for you, some way, shape, or form. It is going to come back to you and give you many, many, many things, whether it's material, emotional, mental, it doesn't matter. Being sensual with yourself, number one, is going to keep you from falling into traps in relationships that you do not want to be in. I can tell you from experience, working on myself and doing the shadow work and actually sitting with myself for years at a time and not letting anybody come in my space and doing whatever the fuck they want to do has saved me from many, many, many situations that could have been gone way worse. And I've been through some shit, okay? But the importance of sensuality is not just for any sexual activity. It's also to make sure that you're enjoying and living your life to the best capacity that you can. Okay? Let me know your thoughts though. If you made it to the end of the video, drop a comment about how you feel about dating in 2026. Do you feel that it's worth it anymore? Do you feel that some things just need to change? Is it very situational based on every person? Let me know. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.